Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about how to take care of your orchids when you are lazy. I am very lazy, so sometimes I prepare when I have time. I prepare a lot of types of fertilizer for my orchids, but when I don't have free time, and even when I have a lot of free time but I am lazy, I will only give it something that I already have in my kitchen, so it's really easy for me to prepare, and it is easy for the orchids to absorb. And after using those methods, I realized that my orchid grows really well, so I'm going to share with you guys those methods, and I hope that you will like it. So let's get started. So the method number one, it is really easy. I just use a pinch of sugar to take care of my orchids. Yeah, sugar is kind of, food, instant food for the orchids. Especially when you see that it is really hot or dry outside, or it's really cold outside. So in summer and winter, when you see that, your orchid is suffering from the weather, it's too hot or too cold, and is kind of weak about that. So it's time for you to take care of them by sugar. It's really easy, just a pinch of sugar and about 100 ml of water. Don't add too much sugar. It is kind of, energy for your orchids to imagine that when you cannot eat anything, you will drink a little bit of milk to feel a little bit better, because you need energy. You need to boost your energy right after that, but you cannot eat soup or other food. So sugar is kind of things like that. It can help your orchids feel a little bit better when it is really cold or hot outside. Your orchids cannot absorb water or nutrients as usual, and water is kind of, instant food for the orchids, so it will feel better because sugar is really easy to absorb, and it can give the orchids enough energy to grow in very hot and cold weather. So you can use sprayer to spray all over the plants, but I don't do that because, as I mentioned above, I am very lazy. This is the method I use when I am very lazy, so I don't use sprayer. I just use a cup of water and a spoon, and then that's it. My orchid has enough energy to survive for several weeks. You can use this method twice a month, not too much, because when you use a lot of water, you can attract insects to the orchid, so don't do that regularly. So that's the method number one. Okay, so the method number two, when you are lazy and you don't want to prepare any types of fertilizers for your orchids, so you can use Epsom salt. Epsom salt contains sulfurs and minerals, a lot of types of minerals. So it's really good for your orchids to grow roots and leaves, and the leaves will become greener because it has enough mineral. When I use Epsom salt, I feel like it has the same effect when I use aloe vera. The leaves will become really green and sturdy, and I feel like the roots become bigger and stronger. Epsom salt is not just about nutrients for the orchids. It's not just the vitamin and nutrients for the orchids to take to to absorb and grow. It is also a method that I use to shoo away some types of insects. When I use Epsom salt twice a week, I realized that some types of ants disappeared. It is not affect to other animals like snail, but for flies or mosquitoes or as I said before, ants. After using this for several weeks, I realized that there's no mosquito or ants or small spiders around these pots. It's really amazing, huh? And I also use this for rose plants, and I can see that there's no insects outside the plants. So it's really amazing. It's not just about a fertilizer, it's this type of pesticide. Amazing, huh? And it's really easy to use. Just a pinch of Epsom salt, just like sugar, a pinch of it. That's it. You can use a little bit more because it's not sweet, so it's not it will not attract insects, so you can use a little bit more, and you can use about twice a week with orchids. And yes, you can use sprayer to spray to the leaves, and you can see that your leaves will become really shiny and sturdy. But I don't use sprayers. I just want to use a spoon like this, so it will be really fast. Okay, so the method number 2 is using Epsom salt. And I'm going to share with you guys the method number 3. I will use it when I am lazy and have nothing to give my orchids. I just take a little bit of, it is still white. Can you guess what it is? It is limestone powder, and limestone powder is the way that I can use to provide calcium to the orchids. Yes, I use it to provide calcium for my orchids, and it is the real things for the orchids to have sturdy leaves, sturdy roots, and it will become stronger because limestone powder is kind of a medicine, I guess, because when I use the limestone powder for several months, I realized that my orchids all the orchid is really hard to be rot. It is a way to help your orchids become stronger, so it will not get rot roots or rot leaves. That's why when I have a rot stem or rot roots, I will use limestone powder to spring to the wound, and then after that your orchids can heal the wound better. So instead of just take care of your orchids when it is already got rot spot, I usually use limestone powder to take care of your orchids once a month, only once a month, especially in rain season. It's really effective. Just give the orchids limestone powder, and it will have enough calcium to have hard, sturdy leaves, and it can keep the orchids away from the rot leaves, rot roots, or rot stem. Actually, you can use sprayer to spray the limestone powder liquid to the leaves. It will help the leaf become sturdy. But the thing is, when you use calcium to take care of the leaves, you will see that your leaves will have some stain. So I don't use sprayer in this situation, even when I'm not lazy, remember, because it's not beautiful at all. It can make your orchids have some stain like this. So the 3 methods that I usually use to take care of my orchids when I am lazy, and it's really effective. They are really effective. You can use those methods at home and let me know in the comments if you see the difference after using those natural methods. Okay, let me show you these orchids. For several weeks I don't use sprayers to take care of my orchids, and you can see that there are so many stains on the leaves. And as I said before, it's not just about the water that I give it. When I started to take care of the orchids, I think that because I use a lot of rice water and calcium liquid like that to take care of the orchids, and it will have a lot of stains on the leaves like this. But when I have taken care of orchids for several years, I realized that it's not just about the water that you give the orchids, it's not just about the fertilizer that you give the orchids, it is about the leaves themselves. If the leaves are is young like this, when the leaves is young like this, then the cell of the leaves is kind of round. It's really round, it's fresh and round, and it's gonna be really fresh and shiny like this. But this is an old leaf, so it cannot, the cells cannot be round and fresh as this one, so it's hard to be shiny like this. But it doesn't mean that you cannot make this one become more shiny. And I have shown you several methods that can help you have shiny leaves in the previous videos. You can watch this, but I am going to talk about that a little bit now. If you see that your orchid is kind of dirty and have some stains like this, it's time for you to use some kind of fertilizer with sprayer, because sprayer has the water small. When the water come out of the sprayer, it is strong enough to reach every cell on the surface, and the cell will have enough water. It absorbs enough water to become round and fresh, and it will help the leaves look more shiny. So don't worry if you see your orchids looks like this and don't use a piece of cloth to wipe the orchids to help it look better. Just use a sprayer with a little bit of fertilizer, any types of fertilizer that you have, but just take a little bit, because when you use too much fertilizer you can burn the leaves. Just a little bit is enough. So spray all over the leaves and you can see that it will become shiny as this one. So when I'm not lazy, I will do that. Okay, that's the tips for you today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.